had a question on the 7 dots that I had laid down before I did a sketch in one of my videos, and I thought it would be easier for me just to explain it on video rather than type out a response. So this is the Andrew Loomis method, and the book is still available. I'll link it down below, but basically you have 8 heads, right? So you would take, let me get a different pen. So I go out, and if I see somebody, I will just lay these dots down. 1, 2, then in the middle again, in the middle of those 2, in the middle of those 2, and in the middle of those 2 dots. This is pretty universal, and then when you draw your figure, you can do the characteristics of that person and use this as a guide line. So this will be the top of the head, chin, the armpit and the nipple, belly button. This is the crotch, and if your arms are all the way down, your wrist is going to fall in that area, your knee and your ankle, and then your foot is going to be below your ankle. I'm working with the Winsor Newton primary set. I'll link those below, and I just have a raw umber. And I'm just going to place them on a palette. One, and then I'm going to do ankles, I'm going to do middle, and then middle, 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 middle. So above here should be 4 heads. So I'm going to give you a warning, like, I'm not a portrait artist. I use these marks just to guide me, if I'm trying to do a quick study or a sketch from outside and they're not going to be there a long time. This just kind of guides me. There's her waist, and then neck, other shoulder, and she's got that chest, and her dress drops down. There's her crotch, so you can see this is her, like, you can tell that's her knee. Right? And then her, so that's her weight-bearing foot. And then this other foot is kind of like that. And then he is taller than her, so let's, about right there. And his weight-bearing foot is right there, so we have his middle knees. So crown of his head, then his neck sits like that, and then shoulders, armpit, his arm reaches into his pocket, his hair, her hair, and then you can see that's his knees. His pants go above his knees, and his leg. So that's his knee. And then he has sandals on. Now I'm just going to put in my darker, like where everything's in shadow, and I've just used the raw umber, a little of the red, and a touch of black. So let's see, his shadow, let's go ahead and do her face in shadow, then that. This isn't a very big picture, so I'm kind of guessing on some of this. Foot. I'm going to add just a touch of yellow, where more of that up just a little bit. And a touch of that red. Now I will tell you that I am no portrait artist, so this might make you cringe if you are. This is just how I do it, especially if you're trying to capture something super quick. And I like this method because I kind of like wonky, and this definitely ends up giving a bit of a wonky vibe. And here's another thing with this. When you're doing this, don't worry if you've got some things that are too wide or too expands out of, like that leg is a little big, right? But when you go around your figure, you can color block that in. So, and like I said, I'm no portrait artist. Let me show you. So when I used to do portraits, I would just do kind of the outline and just do just the lines of things. So definitely not realistic. I looked for pictures of some of my older work, and back in the day we put them on CDs. So I do not have, that was the only thing I could find. So I'm going to use the white and a little black, maybe a touch of this blue. And see how your dots are going to get covered up anyway, so don't worry about it. Put a color on him. I'm looking at her. It's, oh, too much water. This is a Princeton Velvet Touch brush. It's one of my favorites. And then you've got her dress. Just blocking in the darker. But you see how much water this holds. Or paint, rather. I'm just hitting where the sun has got them. Mix some red and green and see if I can get a decent brown. And I'm just basically color blocking. I'm just going to put those two together. There's a fold there, and now let's add some white and that's where the sun hits it. Okay, let's do his hair. Oh, that's real dark. Let's do her hair with that. She has curly hair. Okay. Yes, let's put his sandals in. Like that. She has white sandals. Like that. I'm going to exaggerate this shadow. I'm just going to cut in right there. I'm going to change that shadow just a little bit. The sand has a bit of a green color to it. So basically you get the idea, just just an easy way to put down. Let me turn the light on now that I don't have a picture there for a glare. Now you can just get a quick sketch just using those marks, right? So I hope you try it. And by the way, this is Violet's parents. And that's it. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any more questions, just ask and I'll do my best. Like I said, I'm no portrait artist. This is just how I do it in my sketchbooks and how I kind of get the basic marks down. So while I'm sketching, I'll go, oh, I know the knee has to, you know, be around this dot, so I'm going to go ahead and stop. Or, you know, so you don't end up with a body that's too long or too short, you know. So anyway, that's it. Have a great week.